Well, you asked a minute ago about what is a community bank and kind of what separates you. And I think one of them is that you don't go hot and cold. You stay more consistent. You see a lot of the large banks, they'll get in a line or get in a market and get out of a line of business, get out of a market. We tend to be very consistent with our lending policies. During the economic downturn, we never really strayed. We stayed pretty consistent. We lent
Did you tighten up your standards?
We didn't. They were just as consistent before the financial crisis as during the financial crisis. And so we lent through the whole financial crisis. We loaned in our footprint in the Carolinas and Georgia almost $3 billion over the last 12 months. A lot of that money goes to small and medium-sized businesses. A lot of that goes to Chris's question about homeowners. So we've been a big supplier of capital in those markets and a very consistent, steady supplier of capital in those markets.
Do you feel like, not to interrupt you, but do you feel like your role and your contemporaries' roles are in markets, and I don't want to call them markets because these are actual people. Do you feel like your role is a leadership position to make sure that these folks are getting what they need to get, not dismissing regulations, but that's your role, is to be a leadership?
No question. I mean, we got to be a leader. We're only a community bank, any bank, we're only as strong as the communities we serve. And when Greg's group, this was before Greg's time, but the Orangeburg County Development Commission was getting started. We were one of the key contributors to get that organization going. It's important to us because economic development in those communities is important because we're only as strong as the businesses and individuals in those markets are. If they're doing well, we're doing well. And that's been our focus and our feeling really the whole time. Just like during the financial crisis, we never cut our dividend. We're one of the few banks in the country, and we felt the same way about our shareholders as we felt about our communities. We never cut our dividend. Most banks did to preserve capital. Our dividend now is starting to grow, grew nicely over the last 12 months. So our philosophical view is very long-term, and we stay very consistent in our markets. We try to provide a very consistent return to our shareholders, and we take a big responsibility in the communities. Regulation, though, today, from our Wachovia days, I mean, I remember when the regulations were coming out then, I thought they were overwhelming. They pale in comparison to what's happening today.
Yeah,
more regulatory hurdles today that have been approved in the last 3 to 5 years than in my prior 20 in the business.